So when you hear the name, right, I think because of all the commercials that you see on TV where, the happy couple are walking and all of a sudden the dude has chest pains and is over dramatic. What is heartburn and how serious is it for anybody who really doesn't understand it?
Well, basically heartburn is when the stomach is not able to break down the food that we put into the stomach. And then what happens, the stomach will continue to produce acid and continue an activity or a churning. And then with this, you'll have some irritation on the food tube or the esophagus, which is the tube that brings the food down into the stomach, and the tissues actually burn. So a lot of times it's correlated with, maybe bloating or indigestion or just a burning sensation or the chest and abdomen, and it can be pretty uncomfortable. And the numbers or the statistics show that the number of people that have heartburn, the frequency is increasing, and the number of people that have heartburn is increasing. So, it's so easily handled with antacids from a symptom standpoint, but, as we know, when the body is not working right, it throws off a symptom, and if we just cover up the symptom and we ignore what's causing the problem, it tends to snowball into a larger situation. And there was a pretty good study that was done in Sweden with thousands of patients, and they basically looked at people that had heartburn once a week or more, and they find that there was an 8 times increase in a cancer that affects the esophagus.
Wow.
Of these patients that had heartburn one time or more. So, it became a bit of a more of a red flag and something that we should take a look at and see if we can fix the cause of it, which is really such a simple thing to do that it's one of those things in healthcare that's considered a no-brainer because it's a very simple thing to handle.
Well, let's get into it. What's the trick? What's the proper way to make sure that you don't do that? Because like you just mentioned, it's such an easy way to prevent. And if you're preventing something that causes cancer, possibly, you might want to pay attention. So, Doc, what can the average American do to prevent this, not only this discomfort, but the possibility of making things worse?
Yeah, so here's what we've learned. Like, we've been working with digestion over a number of years, and we've learned a couple of things. Number one, there are ingredients called digestive enzymes in any of the foods we eat. So in every food that we eat, there are digestive enzymes, and one of the jobs of these enzymes is to break down the food in the stomach and in the intestines and allow absorption of these vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need. And if we look back at what the cause of heartburn is, it's the inability for the stomach to break down the foods. So if we had digestive enzymes in the mix of food that we're eating, then we would help to break down that food in the stomach, therefore preventing the side effect or the symptom of heartburn. So here's a couple of things in addition that we've learned, that if you heat a food over 118 or 119 degrees, it basically will kill off that enzyme in the food. Obviously, we need to heat our beef and chicken and pork and steak and stuff like this, but there are many foods that we can eat that are raw that are loaded with digestive enzymes, and if we couple those foods with our cooked foods, then we're going to get all the benefits of those digestive enzymes in the meal and then prevent the cause of heartburn. So we're really pushing adding some raw fruits and vegetables to every meal. And I know that, we all have a busy lifestyle, so that maybe is not so easy with breakfast or lunch because we have those a bit on the go, a little bit easier with a meal dinner, and you sit down and you can plan that out a bit. So we've actually started to use ground up fruits and vegetables in a product that we get from a company called Nature Sources, and the product is Absorbate. And basically it's ground up fruits and vegetables that have high potencies of enzymes, and we take this with our meal whenever we don't have some raw fruits and vegetables with our meal. And so that's been really the simplest solution to patients with heartburn.
If anybody wants more information, please visit naturesources.com or call 1-800-827-7656 for free samples. And going into that, to the raw fruits and vegetables, is there a certain gram level, a certain measurement you can use to tell me how much of a digestive enzyme do you need? I mean, is it a gram's worth? Is it, is it a small amount? Like, how much does the body need to help with the digestive process in your body?
That's a great question. I mean, what we're really encouraging our patients to do is if they have a 6, 8, 10-ounce steak, that they should have an equal component of raw fruits and vegetables with that. Now, does that mean a baked potato? No, because that potato loses all its enzymes when we bake it and cook it. Does that mean grilled vegetables, which are very popular down here, in the grilling season and that? Generally not, because we're heating it over that 118 and 119 degrees. So
Right.
Some raw vegetables may be in the same component size as what we're having with our beef. We know that, all protein sources, beef, pork, chicken, things of that nature, are by far the most difficult to digest. So the more we can help break down those meat or beef or protein sources, the better off we're going to be. Now, we are in the middle of barbecue season down here in Florida, and what we're really encouraging our patients to do is have like a side dish of pineapple and papaya. It's great with a rack of ribs. It actually tastes really nice together. But pineapple and papaya is loaded with an enzyme called bromelain, and bromelain in many cases is used as a meat tenderizer. It's a fantastic enzyme to break down protein sources. And again, those are the difficult things to break down, and we're always cooking those, so we're not getting any of the digestive enzymes in that food source. So, a great, side dish with a rack of ribs is some pineapple and papaya, and you also get a beautiful benefit with the digestive enzymes in those fruits.
I really hate you right now, Dr. David Magnano. If for anybody, fourth wall broken, we're recording this a little bit before afternoon, so I am ready for lunch. Dr. David Magnano joins us today on Outreach Radio Chicago. If you want more information, visit us on naturesources.com or call 800-827-7656 for any free samples. The product is called Absorb Aid. Really interesting stuff, guys. Speaking of that, how important is it for the health nuts that love to do the meal preps, that love the grilled chicken, the chicken breast, the lean venison, whatever the case may be? How important is it to make sure that your digestive enzymes are in there, so all the proper protein and vitamins and nutrition are also getting absorbed into the blood system and into your body?
Oh, it's vitally important. It is a huge thing for anybody, especially with the American diet. We're cooking so much food. All the food that's processed has been killed off from the enzyme standpoint. So the more we can get some raw fruits and vegetables in, the more we can get some digestive enzymes. It's a crucial thing. Now, the other thing, which doesn't necessarily tie into heartburn, though, the other thing that's very important, and I know you're aware of this, there's so much junk in our foods, right? Mm-hmm. There's the altered hormones, the GMO, the pesticides, the preparations. All this junk is in our food. And the beauty about having a nice component of digestive enzymes is it actually breaks down the food. So that's one of its jobs. And in breaking down the foods, you can get rid of all the stuff that's not really food, all the pesticides and preparations and all that stuff, and that can be excreted out pretty easily. In addition to that, with good source of digestive enzymes, you're breaking down the foods, the vitamins, minerals, proteins, all these nutrients that are needed for the cells. You're breaking those down so they can be easily absorbed into the cells, and this allows our cells to be healthier, and it leads to healthier tissues and blood and organ and muscle and bone and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's one of these things in healthcare that truly is a no-brainer. And we've been taking our patients, any of in our medical department that show that they have heartburn once a week or more, and we're just sending them to Nature Sources website. They're getting some samples. Within a couple of weeks, they're coming back, and we're following up, and they're reporting to us at least 80% of the patients that have heartburn have stopped their over-the-counter antacids, and they're actually just taking Absorb Aid with their meal. Now, that tells us that we're not just covering up the symptom, allowing the problem to snowball into something more severe. We're actually doing something for the cause of the problem. And that leads to many benefits throughout the whole digestive tract and the nutrients that the cells will absorb, and it just goes on from there. So it really is one of these simple things. I mean, and it hasn't even been a challenge. Many of our patients are just taking Absorb Aid with their breakfast and lunch because they're doing those a bit on the go. And if they're having a nice some raw fruits and vegetables with their dinner meal, then, they don't even need to take the Absorbate. They certainly can, but they don't really need to because they're getting the enzymes from the food they eat.
I want you to go back to that in just a second about the hiding the symptoms and just masking them, but really fast, is there an age group that you really need to be aware of how your digestive system is working? We always get experts on that generally tell us the same thing, that it's good for everybody. But is this more beneficial for, let's say, the 25-year-old, or is this more beneficial for the 45-year-old? Because we all know everybody's body is different, but how important is it as you get older to make sure that your body's digesting things better?
Oh, it's huge, and it's a great question. And here's what we know, that the production of enzymes internally decreases at age 24 or 25, and then sort of on a steady decreasing basis, it goes down from there. And in our medical department, we're taking care of a lot of patients that are older, and sometimes they eat and they feel so run down or bloated or heartburn, and it really prevents them from eating. And if you're not eating, you're not getting the nutrients that the cells need to do their job. So there's a bit of a dwindling spiral there. It sort of goes downhill. And so it's vitally important to, number one, eat good, and then number two, be able to get the benefits from the food that you're eating. So, we don't really use digestive enzymes so much in the younger population unless we have, unless we're, really trying to handle something. And even on that, it's a very short-term basis. But we're using it, pretty steadily, and with a good product like Absorbate. It's basically all natural. There's no contraindications. The way they get the food ground up and use the enzymes in the food, it's a very effective way of doing that. So we're having a lot of our patients, as they get older, use the digestive enzymes more and more. Generally not needed for people under the age of 25, again, unless we're handling some digestive disturbance.
So with all that in mind, then, when we're speaking of heartburn, I think it has the same connotation as any other disorder or health issue that has a cute name to it. People think of tummy tuck and they don't think of it as major surgery. People think of heartburn and they just think, oh, discomfort, opposed to actual things happening inside your body, that are hurting it. So with all that in mind, how does something, I don't want to, point them out, but something like Tums, Pepto-Bismol, anything like that, besides the chalky taste to it, is there a benefit to it beyond masking or disguising the pain and actually curing anything? What's the problem with those type of things?
Well, there's a couple problems with them. Number one, excuse me, if you're not able to break down the food, in many cases you need acid, digestive acid, to do that. You'll need more acid if you have less enzymes, so that's why the enzyme is a better solution for that. But by taking the antacid, you're actually stopping the stomach's ability to break down the food, because if the food was broken down, the stomach wouldn't produce the additional acid. So that's number one. The other thing that happens with antacids is, there's an acid makeup of the stomach, and there's a certain, pH balance, which is just a scale that regulates alkaline to acidity. So there's a pH balance in the stomach. And when you take antacids on a consistent basis, you change that pH balance. Now, there are normal bacteria and things of that nature in the stomach. One of the bacteria in the stomach is called H. pylori. And when you change the pH balance, there's an increase in the H. pylori. Now, H. pylori is an interesting bacteria that actually burrows into the stomach lining. And if you continue on the antacids and you continue the increase of the amount of H. pylori in the stomach, it continues to burrow through the stomach lining, and then that can lead to an antacid down the road. So I think if people really knew that, number one, the antacid, even though they feel better afterwards, and I understand that when you have a symptom, even though they feel better afterwards, they're actually doing a number of things that are making that problem worse and then leading to some additional things that will need to be handled or treated at some point down the road. And this is all before we even learn that these cases of heartburn now have this increased chance of cancer. So, it's really one of the things that, if there is a solution that actually fixes the problem, like a digestive enzyme, as compared to something that, like an antacid, that just covers up the symptom and actually leads to more problem. If people really understood the difference on that, I don't think there'd even be a choice, because there is a real smart way to go with that. It's a bit of a no-brainer, as we've sort of mentioned before.
People are going to get mad if we don't dig into this a little bit more. The cancer risk. You have and we've gone through it throughout the whole shows. You've given us tips and ways to fix these solutions, to fix this problem and whatnot. But when you say the word cancer, right away that gets the antennas up for anybody who's never really paid attention to this. So what's the correlation between heartburn, which has this connotation of not being anything serious when it is, and cancer, probably the most serious health subject that humans talk about? What's the correlation?
Well, I can share with you, I'm not a cancer specialist, but I can share with you what we've learned from the study.
Please.
And then what we know generally about how the body works, right? So if your stomach is really churning because it's not able to break down the food, and your stomach is really producing this excess amount of acid, it will tend to irritate the tissues of the esophagus. That's the food tube that brings the food down from the mouth into the stomach. And just like anything, really anything in the body, or even other things, right? But when you start to irritate those tissues will become dysfunctional. They will break down. They will become weakened or damaged. And then that's the type of environment that we can get the growth of a cancer, in a weakened tissue, in a damaged tissue. We don't tend to get that in a tissue that's working healthily, right, or that's working as it should, because our body has an immune system. It fights off things. It looks at things and says, hey, this is not working. How do we go about and fix this? But when the damage to the tissue becomes great enough that the tissue is so weakened, that's when things like cancer can start to grow in there. So that's my sort of take on it. We actually look as cancer, it's almost like a weed on a good grass lawn, right? Mm-hmm. You have a healthy lawn and full grass and everything's in there working as it should. And it's very difficult in a lawn that's healthy like that to have a weed grow. But, if the lawn is all a mess, it's not getting water or nutrients, and, it really opens the door for these weeds to grow, and you seem to be, always trying to handle the weeds. And I sort of look at cancer in the body as when there's weakened tissues, when there's damaged tissues, and they're not able to do the job that they're supposed to do, it opens the door for some illness to come in and really affect that weakened or damaged area. So that's sort of my take on it.
That's absolutely fascinating. Anybody wants more information, go to naturesources.com, call 800-827-7656 for free samples. So in general, can you give us just a few steps, even though we've had an awesome show of you kind of breaking this down? What is the, I hear it has a heartburn rescue plan, but really it's a health plan. It's a feel better plan. So can you tell us, just generalizing what that really means?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a health plan. And we learn, so as we get more and more into healthcare and years of practice of that, there's so much that we can do within our lifestyle to actually produce a healthier result for ourselves. So here's the key. We have to get raw fruits and vegetables in with every meal. We just have to do that. Now, if we're not doing that, that's when we rely on Absorbate, which is basically ground up fruits and vegetables. And the reason we're doing that, there's a benefit to fiber and vitamins and all that stuff with the raw fruits and vegetables, but the specific reason we're doing it is to improve digestion and to reduce heartburn. So for patients that do have any digestive disturbance, they're having indigestion, bloat, we have these older patients, they feel all beat up or run down after they eat, we consider that a digestive disorder. Somebody that has, any digestive problem, including heartburn. Then what we're asking them to do is every meal for a period of about 6 to 8 weeks to take some Absorbate with every meal. And it's chewable form, it's a tablet form, it's however we can get it into the system. For people that do not have digestive disorders, if they're having a meal that has raw fruits and vegetables, great. They don't need to take an Absorbate. If they're having a meal and they're sort of on the go and they're having an egg sandwich on a bagel or something like that in the morning, absolutely no digestive enzymes tied into that. Take some digestive enzymes so you can get the benefit of the food that you're eating and that will allow things to work much better. What we're seeing just with a 2-week trial of free samples is better than 80% of our heartburn cases by getting rid of their over-the-counter antacids and replacing that with Absorbate each meal. Better than 80% of them are getting rid of their heartburn symptoms. So, and again, that tells us that we're not just covering up the symptom, we're actually doing something for what's causing the problem. And that becomes a very exciting thing because it's such a simple solution.
It's naturesources.com. Call 1-800-827-7656 for free samples for more information. We are super busy, which means we don't always get the right amount of sleep. We don't always have the right amount of energy, but there might be an option out there for me, especially called World's Healthiest Coffee. Now, to talk a little bit about that, is joining us today on Outreach Radio Chicago is Kaaba Majeed. Kaaba, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike?
I'm good, my man. So tell us this. You have the words World's Healthiest Coffee. I don't know if there's a bigger tease in the world or a biggest promise. Tell me a little bit about this, my man.
Well, this is the only alkaline coffee on the market, and that's kind of important to our overall health. Coffee is one of the most acidic things that you can put in your body, generally speaking, coffee and soda. And a lot of people love the taste of coffee, but it does havoc on our digestive systems. Well, we have the only alkaline coffee on the market, which means that it's the opposite of acidic for those that aren't familiar with alkalinity, and which means that it improves your overall health.
For anybody interested, it's Bio Coffee. You go to biocoffee.com or call 1-855-246-1232 for more information. Now, you tell me about the alkaline that is the biggest difference for the coffee. How does it taste, though? Because I'm somebody, I hate stevia and all these other different the good sugar, quote unquote, for you. Tell me this tastes good, because I'm a big boy. I need my coffee to taste good.
Well, no, I agree. And the majority of the people, you can look at our reviews online at our website, biocoffee.com, or on Amazon, and you can see that people love the taste of our product. What's happening is our product, our key ingredient is wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is something that tastes really bad, but a lot of people know how good it is for you.
Right.
So instead of going to a juice bar and having to down an ounce or two of something that tastes really bad, we give you the taste of something that you're familiar with, and we give you the health benefits as if you went to that juice bar and got your boost of protein, your green vegetables in. There are 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables in every cup of our product, thanks to our wheatgrass. So
essentially, the coffee becomes your substitute for what your daily intake should be for vegetables, or is it just a nice jumping off point for the diet the rest of your day?
It's your 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables every day. That's absolutely correct. Most of us don't have our daily recommended amount of green vegetables a day, not just any vegetables, but green vegetables. And this is important to digestive health, prebiotics and probiotics naturally. Prebiotics help us absorb the vitamins and minerals that we need, and probiotics help us get rid of everything excess that we don't need. So this helps with things like acid reflux, indigestion, constipation, trapped gas, bloating. All of those things wouldn't even exist if all of us had 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables each day. Our product just makes it very convenient to get your 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables in only 1 cup of coffee.
Was there an age group that you think this should benefit most? Because in general, when we hear those type of ingredients and the benefits of it, you would think that is generally going to help out our elder listeners, even not elderly, but our older listeners. But is this a good substitute for any coffee drinker?
For any coffee drinker. What happens is, as we age, we start to pay more attention to our health so that it doesn't prohibit us from living life.
Absolutely.
We tend to, in our middle ages, kind of ignore it for a while until it catches up with us. However, again, if all of us had 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables every day, we'd never get to a point where it starts to hinder us. The whole concept of holistic healing is not to wait until you have a problem and heal it naturally, but to do the things now that prevent you from having problems in the future. And our product gives you those 3 to 5 servings of green vegetables, improves your overall health, helps in digestion so your body can take in what it needs and get rid of everything that's excess. As a result, you're kind of hedging things off at the pass, so to say.
Now, I have to ask this. As a coffee drinker, the transition between Bio Coffee and let's just say my Folgers, my Dunkin', my Starbucks, whatever the case. Is it an easy transition to go from all that sugar and all that milk to Bio Coffee and getting your 3 to 5s?
Absolutely. I think it's not only easy, it takes 12 days or less. One, you won't have the headaches, the breaking the addiction to caffeine. Our product actually gives the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients so you don't have that headache, you're not fiending for the caffeine, no jitters and things of that nature. The other thing is, in those 12 days, all of our promotions is about that 12-day challenge. If you take our product at least one a day, you can drink more if you like for 12 days in a row. We can pretty much guarantee you won't be going back to any other coffee, any other product. You'll feel much better. You'll notice a difference in your digestive system, and you won't miss the other coffee. As a matter of fact, after that, your other coffee will taste kind of funny. It's a good tasting product, but more importantly, what it does for you overall, no other coffee, tea, or other drink is going to compare. Our product is vitamin, nutrient-packed, prebiotics, probiotics. It's high in fiber. It gives 6 grams of fiber, which is a quarter of what we're supposed to receive a day. And all of those digestive issues will be a thing of the past.
So we can also trick the children to take this stuff, right, and make sure they get all the nutrition because we know how much they love their fruits and vegetables.
Correct. Is a lot of people don't allow children to have coffee because caffeine strips the body of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. But our product actually gives you those things, so it's good for all ages.
Again, for anybody who would like more information, especially the coffee drinkers, the people who need the energy, who also don't get the proper their proper diet and their food inside their system, please visit biocoffee.com or call 1-855-246-1232. I'm actually going to try it out over the next few weeks to see how that goes. I'm a big coffee guy. So one thing that I was interested in is you alluded to it earlier, was the wheatgrass. During my show notes, one of the things that they highlighted was the fact that it's grown a specific way. It's treated a specific way. Can you tell us even specifically, not just about the wheatgrass, but the amount of care that it's taken for this product? Because a lot of the problem that the consumer has is they don't see these products being made. All they're getting told is what the company's telling them. But can you tell us a little bit about the care that goes into every ingredient that's inside BioCoffee?
Oh, absolutely. First off, wheatgrass is a superfood, meaning that it has all of the nutrients, minerals, and vitamins that you need to survive, period. If you just ate wheatgrass, you'd be 100% healthy. It'd be a very boring, nasty diet, but you'd be healthy. What we do, if you ever have gone to a juice bar and get juice wheatgrass, a health club or a juice bar, and they provide shots of it, they chop off the top part of the plant, which is considered the leaves of the plant, and they juice that. Now, that's very good for you. However, it eliminates the roots. And the reason most people do that is because there's a lot of fungus and bacteria that grow around the roots. What we do is we grow our wheatgrass aeroponically, suspended in air on trays. It allows for us to utilize the roots of the plant, too, which contain a large part of the alkalinity and a large part of the nutrient value. So ours is even more nutrient-rich than even if you were to get a fresh juice shot of wheatgrass. That's one thing. The next ingredient is we have a non-dairy creamer in it, so it's good for those that are lactose intolerant, but it's made out of the right ingredients. It's made out of palm kernel and tapioca starch. Palm kernel is high in fiber, not palm oil, the one that's treated with high temperatures, and it changes it on a molecular level and is bad for you. But palm kernel is high in fiber, has its own digestive aid properties. Tapioca starch, which comes from the cassava root, is also high in fiber and has its own digestive aid properties. Our sweetener, oleosaccharide, is extracted from chicory root. It's not only high in fiber, it's a great prebiotic as well. And then the coffee bean that we use, the Arabica coffee bean, the reason we chose that one is it starts off with the least amount of caffeine out of all of the coffee beans. And then we go through a process of extracting it naturally without the use of chemicals. So you don't get the caffeine, nor do you get those chemicals that come along with it. You get your boost of energy naturally from your body receiving vitamins, minerals, and nutrients the way that it's supposed to.
Biocoffee.com. Call 1-855-246-1232. Take the challenge, guys. We're all drinking the coffee already. We're all eating the bad crap, and we're all trying to get healthy. So you might as well kill all the birds in one stone. And they've earned the right, the healthiest coffee in the world. So they have a lot to live up to. So I expect you all to deliver it, and I can't wait to try it out. Kaaba Majeed, you are the best, my man. Thank you so much for taking some time for us, man.
Thanks for having me.